Afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another sunny day in Los Angeles. And I wanted to kind of show you around just a little bit on what it looks like in our neighborhood here. So there's lots of trees and it's pretty high density. So about right here, you would be seeing a jet coming in if I could film when the jet was coming in, but it's pretty doggone noisy. As you may have guessed today, we are working on the S10. And let me show you what's going on with that. So we have the transmission back in, we have the engine back in, we have it running, the engine's complete, everything runs very well. Okay, yesterday we started working on the codes that were in the computer. There were a couple in there. One of them was the ABS system was upset. And the reason it was upset was because one of the wheel speed sensors on the front was giving it intermittent information. So what we did is we went to O'Reilly's Auto Parts and about 10 o'clock, and by about 2:30 they had two new wheel sensors for us. So we went ahead and put those back in, and while we were there we put front brake pads on it, because one of the brake pads had a broken retaining hook on the back of it. So we figured, well, we might as well take and do both sides. So we went ahead and did that. Okay, so ABS should be under control. The next thing we are looking at is there is a problem with the airbag system. And we have things a bit torn up right now. We had to, well, first off, we took the airbag. Let me show you the airbag first. So this is the airbag right here that is in the steering wheel. Okay, and there is a pair of contacts on here. If you use a low current DVM on ohm scale, it will read about 5 ohms if it's good. And this one does read 5 ohms dead on. Okay, so nothing wrong with the airbag. This is an expensive little item. It's about $800 right here. So good we have a good airbag. Okay, so let's go back into the car. Next thing we did was we checked the clock spring assembly. And I'll show you all about the clock spring assembly. We had to take and pull the steering wheel off. That was an adventure its own self. First off, this nut that was on here, somebody laid on it with an impact and they stripped all the threads off this. So we are going to have to take and rethread this and get a different nut to take and go on there. Okay, that was the first thing. The second thing is the two pulling holes that you can use this pulling set to take and extract the steering wheel off were stripped. Okay, so we had to drill them out to the next largest size, and that was 3/816. So we ran a 3/816 tap in there and used a 5/16 drill, and then we rethreaded them, and then we were able to take and use heavier bolts to take and pull the steering wheel off, and that puppy was really on there. Okay, so we went ahead and pulled that off, and then the cock spring sits right here underneath it. It is held on by a snap ring. You take snap ring pliers and pull that, and then you have to take and go down underneath the dash here and fish out the other end of the wire. You'll notice that right around in this area here, there's a yellow connector, and that is the general area where you have to take and disconnect the other end of the clock spring from. Okay. Um, The reason we had to take and pull the clock spring out is because that was the next thing in the chain. And what we did is we took the ohm meter and we went from, there's a green and white wire and green and white wire. So we went green to green and white to white, and they were both open. Okay, so when you take and turn the steering wheel, the clock spring sits here, and there's like a canister that's got a cable in it that runs back and forth. Okay, and I'll show you what that is. What happens is when that goes open, you will get a code in your computer B0026, okay, which is driver's restraint airbag. Okay, and it can either be bed airbag or clock springs, usually clock spring. Okay, so somebody has obviously been here before. They've worked this thing over. There are all kind of extraneous wires here, and we are going to be neatening up that. And we already got quite a bit of wire out of here, and there's a lot more to come. It turns out that we had to take the other side of the dash apart because there's a cable that runs all the way across, and it goes to nothing. Okay, so we had to take and rip that out. So let's get onto the clock spring. Let me show you about that. So anyway, in our little electronics area, this is what the clock spring assembly looks like. The steering shaft for the steering wheel would be through here, and this would be all together and on there. These clock springs for the 2000 through the 2002 Chevy S10 are a problem. The reason they're a problem is because you get a couple of different part numbers and they're wrong. Dorman has a part and that's wrong. So what you have to do is you have to take and get the part out, and then you have to take and match it up. Okay, you got to match the connectors, and also one distinctive thing is there's a plastic piece on the side here that is like a stop that you can take and match that up. And there is a part number on here, right here, and I put that number in and into interchange part, and it comes up with the wrong part. Okay, so these things are really a problem. Okay, I'm thinking, since it's difficult to get these things and they're a little bit on the expensive side, and you can get a used one off eBay for about 65 bucks, okay, or you can take and get a quote-unquote new one from a company I've dealt with before, and I don't really think much of them because they didn't trip me right on another deal when I was working on the 2008 Mustang, so I don't really want to do business with them anymore. So anyway, we'll find somebody else. But anyway, this thing comes apart, okay, and usually if things come apart and they're electronic, you can take and fix them. Okay, so we went ahead and we took this apart because you can see there's like snaps all the way around, okay, that you can use a small screwdriver just like this and open the thing up, and then there's like a drum on the inside with rollers on it. This comes out, okay, and this right here is the actual clock spring. Okay, this is a ribbon cable, okay, that this portion here turns with the steering wheel, okay, left and right, and then this whole black portion here stays static, okay, with the steering column, okay, and as you can see, when we took it apart, okay, this end popped out. So this is obviously supposed to be connected to something, okay. I had a thought maybe I could take and solder this back, but it turns out this cable is destroyed. Okay, this is not repairable, unfortunately. Okay, I'm kind of disappointed. Thought I could do it. Nope, can't do it. Got to get another one. Okay, but when you think about clock spring, you know, if you ever looked at a clock and you've seen the spring wound up in there, it's just the the nickname. The mechanics in the industry use for this. Uh, Everybody knows what a clock spring is. It's got some three-letter designation. It's like TPS or something like that. I forget the exact nomenclature for it. But anyway, we're going to try and match this up, see if we can find another one, and go ahead and throw it in there, get this thing back together. This will be the last piece that we need to take and put the latest 2002 Chevy S10 together. After we've done a clutch on it and a pilot bearing and a throwout bearing, clutch pressure plate. The flywheel was very smooth, did not have to send that out for machining. Sometimes if it's discolored, you have to take and send it out, or it's cracked. Sometimes you'll get some surface cracking on it from the heat, and you'll have to take and get it surfaced. But this one was okay. We got the cylinder head back. There wasn't anything wrong with the cylinder head. We had 4 new exhaust valve guides put in it. And since we got it started and got it running and everything runs cool. We ran it for about an hour sitting in our work area here. We're just running the thing on water right now, just in case we had to tear it back down. We didn't want to waste the antifreeze. So there's no leaks or anything, so we're going to drain the water out and we're going to fill it up with antifreeze. Did an oil change on it. One of the previous videos, you saw that we had a bolt stuck to the drain plug from the inside. We ran a string down the oil filler tube, okay, which was about 1.25 inches in diameter, and it was more than enough room to take and run something down there. We took a long piece of string and put it down there, and then we put a light there. With the drain plug out underneath the car, we built a hook about 12 inches long with a handle on it, and then we were able to see the light through the drain plug to take and pick up the string that we had put down in there. String was pink, so that helped. It's just what we happened to have around the shop. And then we took that, took it out of the drain plug, and then tied it to the string that we tied to the bolt, so we didn't lose the bolt back inside the pan. So we tied them together, and then we're easily able to pull them both out of the oil filler tube. So then we put the drain pipe back in, put the rest of the engine back together, filled it back up with oil, and yeah, so 2002 S10, our new project, is coming along pretty well. We're down to the last thing here. All we got to do is find the clock spring, and we should be set. I just wanted to mention, I got a notification from YouTube last night that I have hit 500 subscribers. I just wanted to say thank you so much for subscribing to my channel and watching my content. I appreciate each and every one of you. I answer your comments, and I appreciate your comments. Please keep up the great work. I've always said I have the most intelligent subscribers in the entire world. Okay, so thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy the content I put up. I'll continue doing my thing. You continue doing your thing. I hope you have a wonderful Saturday afternoon, and I hope you're someplace relatively warm, and we'll talk to you next time. Okay, have a great day.